So I want to answer the question about how people can afford, basic living expenses, and also like if, there's one main thing people can do to help them, afford basic living expenses and get some savings out of their money. What is it? My feeling is the main thing people can do is to track their finances, their income and expenses in some sort of software. I use Quicken, but you could use Mint is now Credit Karma. It's got something. There's YNAB, there's Countabout, there's a few options out there. You really need to, one, track your income and expenses just in general. But after you start doing that, after about a month or two, you'll be able to look at that and you'll be able to see what you really spend your money on. Because there's no sense in doing a budget where you're guessing, or you're making a budget where I hope I make this much and I'm going to try to spend this much. You really want to do a budget based on reality. I know I make this much, and in the last 3 months, on average, I spent this much on my utilities, my this, my that, going out to eat, my car, my gas, whatever. You want to know exactly what you really spend. Once you can get that data, then you can build a budget where you say, I make this amount. These items are my absolute required spending, my home, my utilities, my this, that, and the other. These items are my discretionary, what I'm willing, to spend money on to have fun and so on, but I could possibly change if I wanted to change my habits. And this is my hopeful savings rate. You put all this in a spreadsheet. You have your income, you have whatever your required spending is, you deduct that from your income. From that remaining amount of money is what you have to spend on discretionary expenses, and also create a savings amount out of. And really what you're going to do is throttle, like, hey, I need to save this much, or I want to save this much, so I can only spend this much on the discretionary. And you adjust your budget with a hopeful spending goal for the discretionary items and the savings amount based on reality. That really is the number one thing people should do, need to do, and should start with. From there, you'll start to understand how money works in general and how your financial life works. And then you could start thinking about planning for the future. A lot of times people say, wow, I really need to make more money, or wow, I shouldn't have bought that Sea-Doo, maybe I should sell it, or wow, my car payment's a lot, maybe I could get out of that car payment and get a less expensive car. Who knows? There's a variety of things that you could do to make, changes and make kind of a dent in your monthly expenditure and increase your savings. But you really have to know reality in order to make those changes. And the only way to know reality is to actually track it and get it on paper and look at it. So that's the number one recommendation. From there, like I said, you can make adjustments, look at your car as a big expenditure, look at your eating out as a big expenditure, possibly change. Look, health insurance is huge. There are alternatives to regular health insurance, like, shared expense plans and so on. Um, Look at the big categories first, that if you make a change, you're going to make a big dent. And then, of course, the smaller things, like get rid of all those, apps and, monthly services you signed up for that you forget you're even paying for and you don't use, things like that. So after this, the bigger picture is saying, planning out and mapping out from today to where you want to go in your retirement. That's called, essentially retirement planning, or, financial independence planning. I have a course on that on my website, but also a lot of free information as well on how to do that kind of planning and put something together for yourself so that you're on a track, or you have a roadmap to where you want to go eventually in life. Ultimately, for some people, doing this kind of planning is super tedious, but you don't do it at your own peril. Many people that get in touch with me are in their 40s and 50s and say, geez, I realize now I should have started paying attention to this stuff when I was 25, and I didn't, and now I feel behind and I'm worried I'm not going to be able to catch up. So, but, As they say, the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second next best time is today. So, whatever your age, if you're not doing this, you should start. That's what I have to say about that. Thanks so much. Bye bye.